Alright, so let's just get into what Buried Bones is about first. And then we'll get into why I found myself pretty much disenchanted with all of the many running elements that I loved about the first book. Them bones. Yeah, that's old tin can, kicking out of prison. Buried Bones is about, at the core of the murder, it's about he's both infamous as well as famous. He's both prolific as well as dejected or rejected, ostracized artist figure named Lawrence Ambrose. Lawrence is known in this small Mississippi community of Zinnia, Mississippi. He's known for his artistry. He's known for his intellect. He's known for his writing. I think he did poetry. In this conservative community, he had a very flourishing and artistic mind. Much of it being appreciated, much of it not. So with that in mind, he also has a very deep history within this community. A past that is filled with a lot of secrets. He decides that he wants to write an autobiography of his life. But for him to write that autobiography, he wants to employ an ex-model who has a very prolific father within the community. He wants to employ her to put her name as the biographer, although he wrote the book. The problem is that with all of the different many characters who had a role within this history, had a role within a lot of secrets, who are harboring a lot of secrets. So, naturally, as murder mysteries goes, one of these individuals, or a coupling of one of two, has to steal the manuscript and subsequently silence him with murder. And then, of course, this takes place, and then Sarah Booth is employed to find out who murdered him. And her employer is actually one of, not really, she's borderline a romantic figure for Lawrence, and she writes Sarah Booth a $10,000 check to find out what happened to Lawrence, okay? Yeah. But back to my original point, I found this one to be disenchanting for a number of reasons. The number one thing, and I'm going to refer back to the first book, the number one thing that I'm noticing is that Haines has a very good setup with her mysteries. I love her mysteries, even though this is the second book. I love her mysteries because they tackle many different pretty interesting characters with interesting backgrounds, interesting past, and these really are books that are really Sarah Booth solving cold cases in this small southern Mississippi town. So a lot of the decorative areas of Mississippi, the flavor, the food, the smells, the magnolia trees, all that stuff is so present, both as you, the reader, are being transported to the past through Sarah's investigation to find out the secrets, as well as the current present with Sarah trying to live her life as a Southern belle who is with no children and no husband in mind, which is kind of bad for her. So without a doubt, the mystery parts that Haines draws up and the atmosphere and the characters are mostly characters are winning, okay? But what I struggle with sometimes is, as I said before, I have a hard time of reading these mysteries where they just make it a little bit too silly in some areas. And while the first book I felt like had a very careful balance of combining like a serious investigation, well, we'll say serious, but a very sturdy investigation with some much more humorous, comical elements, girl, I don't know what she was doing in this one. I got to the point where I wish that everybody would shut up in Buried Bones. Everybody was just trying too hard. Everybody was just trying too hard. I was like, girl, y'all are lit. All of y'all are lit for no reason. And the number one character who I absolutely cannot stand now, who I loved in the first book, is actually the ghost character of Jitty. Although this is not wouldn't label it a paranormal, although it is kind of paranormal. But Sarah Booth, she's not a medium, but casually and nonchalantly she does communicate with this ghost that resides in her house. As I mentioned in the first book, I found that ghost to be entertaining. I love that comical aspect. I love that element. In this book, I wish that somebody would light some sage, light some tree root, throw some sea salt on her ass. I wish that somebody would have opened up the window with a broom and some sage and got rid of Jitty. Jitty got on my nerves. I could not stand her. Like, it was a complete 360. And I did not like her because she was so aggravated in two areas. Number one, she was always, whenever she came on scene, she was always pushing for Sarah to have a child. She was always throwing up in Sarah's face that Sarah was unwed and that she didn't have a child. Granted, Jitty is a ghost from, I don't know, the early 20th century or something, like when she died or whatever as a nanny, I don't know. So that mindset is there. I get it. That's kind of the whole wash of the series anyway, is it is about this Southern belle who doesn't have a husband and children, etc., etc. You know, that's the thing. You got to carry the line down. But oh my God, I was so sick of this character of Jitty, a ghost. I'm like, girl, don't you got the afterlife to go look out for? Why don't you go over there? But she kept bringing that up. And granted, Jitty felt like that Sarah's lineage was hers as well. Because if Sarah doesn't have any children, nobody has the plantation house. Jitty will be there alone with a whole different, family or whatever it should Sarah leave. I got that. But it was just too much. And one of the things that I do find so obnoxious, and I cannot stand this in a mystery. Y'all ladies, y'all can speak for yourself. I'm a dude, I don't know. But listen, hold on. Jitty kept bringing up Sarah Booth's weight. That is one of the things, that gets on my nerves. Like, just these characters, like, why can't they just be with, if she put on a pound or whatever, okay. But the point is that it really irritates me when I read a book, especially a cozy mystery, I guess you can say, we'll just keep it at that, when the woman character is always doing the weight thing. It's always about, well, I couldn't fit into this skirt that I used to wear when I was 16. And even though the jeans were pressed tightly against my calves, I still decided to put it on. Oh, I can't eat this bagel because it's going to put an extra pound on me. I cannot deal. My thing is this. I guess that the author is trying to make the character relatable. I guess she may feel like her demographic is women who may feel the same way. Look, I'm not trying to even get into that. I really would prefer not to, but I got to express myself on this. That's fine, that's cool, but my thing is this, like, if your character don't want to eat a bagel, then don't write about it. You know what I'm saying? Don't write about it. If your character is gonna buy a pack of bagels to try to buy danishes, to get some information out of another character, so she set the bag of danishes on the counter. And then the other character, who is a woman as well. Oh, she's a trans woman, which I thought was great. That's one of the things I love. I wish the author would dig more into that. But anyway, plus. But if your character is going to sit up here and put a bag of danishes on the table and try to get information out of another character, the other character start picking it up, and the other character offer, say, why are you not eating one of your danishes? And the character either externally or internally starts talking about her weight, then authors, don't write about it. Don't even write about it. Don't write about it. If she ain't gonna eat the bagel, don't write about it. I'm so serious. That is so annoying to me. I cannot stand when I read these books and they start talking about that. I don't know, maybe because I got a habit metabolism. I got to stuff my face every chance I get. I don't know. It just may be like a personal thing, but my thing is just don't write about it. If you don't, just girl. Now, alright, so I'm gonna chill out. Another thing that got on my nerves about this book is that here we go. Okay, like I said, the book, it has to do with, if there's the comedy element and then the historical element. If it's not enough to make the ghosts the comedy element and maybe some of the characters with their different personalities and antics and etc., etc., if that's not enough, then the author introduced a dog. She introduced a dog. The dog is going to play the humorous element in the fashion of, this dog was a female dog who had a pack of other dogs basically ganging up on her in the driveway. That is not funny to me. I did not find that was not funny to me. I'm sorry. I found that to be so ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I know that the element is that of humor and stuff like that or whatever, but I found that to be ridiculous. The dog, and it happened more than once. It's not funny. You know I'm laughing out, right? It's not funny. That was not funny. I'm sorry. That was not funny. And I know this dog is going to continue to be in this series. So just stuff like that. I'm like, that's not funny. I didn't find the humor in that. So with that being said, you know, like I said, there's two things about this book and this series. She does a great job with the mystery. I think that the investigative part of this book, I wish that it was cut short somewhere within all this, but I could work with it. By the end of the book, I was sick of all of it, though. I was sick of the whole thing. I was like, hurry up and finish, because I already knew what was going on anyway. But I'm going to continue to read this series because, like I just said, I like the Southern atmosphere. I love some of the Southern etiquettes that are presented in this book, even though me from the South as is, like, I don't know anything about this stuff. Well, I know, but this is not in my category, none whatsoever, honey. People in my complexion, we got a whole different set of skills that we have to work with. So I like that, but what I want to say is even though I know that this is a very humorous, comical series, but I don't want it to override the mystery parts of this series. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I don't want that to happen, you know. But we will see. I could get deep into it, but I'm not going to. I think I've said enough. The third book in the series is called Splintered Bones. I am super lucky that my library has this book, this series. They have just about all these books, so I don't have to buy anything. That's the way I love it. And we'll see what happens. So, Buried Bones, the humor part overrode the mystery part. Whoosh, to the point of I don't know. Anyway, that's it. Leave your comments down below. I would absolutely love to hear from readers of this series. Absolutely love to hear from you guys. And that's it. Bye.